positivity, body acceptance. Talking about motivation. Talking about stress, balance. Telling yourself that it's okay to stop, to calm, relax. It's okay to do less. And talk about things will come together. This situation that we're in at the moment. There's an end in sight, so we don't know, unfortunately, when it's going to be. I just want to talk about wonderful things that you will be able to do as time comes to an end, or even as it eases. So, we're first going to talk about body acceptance. Not just body acceptance, but just self-acceptance, positivity. Sometimes it's quite difficult to be positive about ourselves, especially those of us that struggle with body dysmorphia, or we have tendencies to be self-deprecating, self-hating, whether that be due to beliefs that other people have instilled within us through harsh words, or through the way that we've been treated in the past. So I'm not necessarily going to ask you to be capable today of body positivity, but I want you to be able to at least accept where you are right now. A lot of you wanted me to talk about this, and I come from a place where I completely sympathise and understand. It's very difficult when you can't, no matter how hard you try, you can't live to the fullest that you want to at the moment. And a lot of the time, we may be subsidising with food or stillness just to make ourselves feel safe. And I want to tell you, I want you to let you know that that's completely okay. It's completely okay if you're maybe not feeling so great at the moment. Maybe you're feeling a little bit lackluster and uncomfortable. I want you to know that it's okay to feel uncomfortable, and sometimes we need to sit in that uncomfortable feeling and tell ourselves that this will pass, but I am choosing to love myself, and I'm choosing to be kind the way that I would be kind to someone else if they were in this situation. It doesn't mean that you have to sit there in that uncomfortable position and you can't change things, because you can. If you feel you have the drive to change things to make you feel more comfortable, then that is completely okay. But at the same time, if you're feeling not in the correct body or mental physical, emotional space to try and change things, then that's also completely okay. I want you to remind yourself that there are so many people that are in the same boat as you right now. And I want to remind you that your body and your face, no matter how happy or unhappy you are with it right now, that it does not define you. The way that you're feeling right now about yourself does not define you. We always have fleeting opinions of ourselves. They're never completely linear. We can wake up one day and feel fabulous, and then the very next day, maybe even the very next hour, feel awful about ourselves. So in those times where you feel awful, I want you to just go into that mental headspace of thinking, I'm not always going to feel like this. This feeling is temporary and it will pass. And I want you to remember that no matter how uneasy and uncomfortable your body or your face or your mind or your situation right now might feel, this will pass. It's not forever. And I want you to know that whatever state you're in right now, if you're sat in bed with some mismatched pyjamas and scruffy hair, right now in this moment, you are beautiful, because you are exactly the way you were supposed to be. In this very moment right now, I want you to know how proud I am that you are here, and you may be coping or you may not be coping very well, but you're coping enough to be here right now, and I'm so proud of you for that. You should be so proud of yourself for the way that you've handled this situation, for the way that we've all handled this situation. This is something that we'll be telling our children years to come. And if in this moment you've needed to eat an extra packet of crisps a day just because it makes you feel calm and safe, then that's okay. If you fear going outside very often, maybe you're immunocompromised and it makes you feel very rightly so unsafe, then please do not punish yourself for maybe not getting the exercise that you wish you could. Maybe your body's changing, and I know a lot of our bodies are changing due to not only a change of lifestyle but a added stressor. Stress affects our bodies a lot, and we're all changing. Even as you grow older, your body changes all the time, and as I said before, it's not permanent. It will continue to develop and change over time, but the most important thing is that you know that right now, that the uncomfortable thing, it doesn't matter. You're still beautiful, and you deserve to be here, and you deserve to take up the space that you take up. I used to feel like that a lot, and I still do, so it's a reminder to myself as well that you and I, we are allowed to take up space. We don't have to be small, shy, timid, We don't have to be as tiny and unrecognisable and insignificant as possible. We are deserving of the space that we fill, and we are deserving of light and love and attention. We're deserving of every breath we breathe, every song that we sing, word that we say, every step. Okay? You are deserving of everything. So never feel like you shouldn't be here, or you're not doing as well as you should be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. You're doing so well. I want you to know how well you're doing, and that everything is going to be okay. Everything is okay. We go through so much in life, and it's these tough things that make us stronger. Next, I want to talk about motivation. Now, obviously, motivation is something that can be really, really difficult to find. But I wanted to speak with you for a minute about maybe not the idea of motivation, because a lot of the time we get motivation for a day. We have this mantra that we tell ourselves, no matter what it is, whether it's physical health related, work related. We always tell ourselves, we're going to start on Monday. Monday's going to be a fresh start. I'm going to have so much motivation on Monday. I'm going to work so hard. And then Monday comes around and we do well. Tuesday, we do okay. Wednesday, we're really starting to slip, and then by Thursday, it's just, well, we'll have fun at the weekend and we'll start again on Monday. And I wanted to sort of maybe give you the idea that my coach gives me of it's not necessarily motivation that you need, because motivation can only take you so far. What instead you should be focusing on is consistency. So this sort of ties in with my third point that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to sort of weave them in together. So third point that I wanted to talk about is about this need to do everything, feeling like time is running out and we need to be busy. But if you think about it, we have all this motivation one day. We write ourselves a huge list of all the things we want to get done, and we think, wow, I've been so productive. And I don't know if you've ever heard, but there is such a thing as toxic positivity and toxic productivity. What this means is we go 100 miles an hour and we focus way too much on trying to get everything done and trying to fix everything straight away. But instead, if we focus instead on consistency, maybe giving ourselves slightly less tasks to do, maybe starting off with really simple ones as well. Something as simple as even making your bed in the morning and brushing your teeth. I know to some people that can sound so trivial that how could anyone possibly not be able to keep that consistency? But I can speak as someone who has had depression before, that simply the task of getting out of bed to clean your teeth or brush your hair can be so overwhelming and so difficult that it's a real big task to try and do it. But starting small with things like that, even if, for example, you can't wash your hair but you can brush your hair, and that's something that you can consistently do and it just helps. Try and do all these little things that just help a little bit along the way, then it's a start. So we can focus instead on consistency. So let's say we're trying to set up our own business and we're really excited. We just want to go full steam ahead and try and get everything done. But instead, maybe we should split the tasks up and maybe give ourselves just a little bit of time every day to do and focus on that thing that we want, rather than throwing ourselves into it, getting overwhelmed and then giving up. So for example, if I was starting my own business, rather than saying, okay, this week it's all I'm focusing on, instead you could focus on consistency and say, okay, instead of trying to do so much, I'm going to limit myself to this certain amount of productivity. You'll end up procrastinating a lot less as well. You just say, okay, I'm going to give myself 1 to 2 hours every single day where I'm just going to focus on this task, and you give yourself a specific task you're going to do each day within that little time slot, and you'll probably find yourself over a longer period of time that you actually get more done, because rather than overwhelming yourself and making everything feel like it's just too much, it feels manageable instead. And especially with the way that the world is at the moment, that's what we really want to focus on, is we want to focus on making things manageable for ourselves, making them feel doable, making them feel safe, calm, and then we end up having a lot more time and energy for things that we want to do as well, and we don't feel guilty about doing the things that we want to do, because we know we've given ourselves little snippets of productivity throughout the day. So I hope that helps on the motivation front. You don't have to be perfect. This is the biggest misconception. People think that the most successful people in the world are perfect and they do everything right. But I can tell you right now, the most successful people are not the ones working 24 hours of the day. There's a big misconception that people that are incredibly successful are grafters that work, and they have no time for anything else. It's their main focus. But I can tell you that actually the most successful people in life and the richest people in life are the ones that are rich with experience and rich with love and happiness. And for that love, happiness and experience to occur, we have to have a balance. Otherwise, what was the point of trying to do everything if we never get to actually do anything? If that makes sense. Trying to do all these tasks, tick the things off our lists in order to make ourselves feel good sort of think about the things that you really value in life, and make sure as well as setting out a productivity time slot every day, making sure you set some time out for yourself to do these things that you love. So, setting out an hour for myself every single day to watch a TV show I love. At the moment, it's been RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm obsessed with it. I mean, I've been obsessed with it for 7 years now. And that's something that makes me really happy. So I always set myself some time to watch it. I watch it nearly every day. But I don't treat it like a reward. I treat it like a necessity. Because if you start to behave in the way of I do the productivity and then reward myself with the self-care, then it makes the self-care feel like a reward. So then if you don't necessarily do as well with the productivity, then you feel guilty about giving yourself the self-care. That makes sense. So self-care is essential. Self-care can be anything. So I want you to know that the self-care is an essential, and no matter how productive the productivity was, you can still have the self-care. I hope that sort of helps. I know some of you have been sort of feeling overwhelmed, and like, because we have a lockdown, you need to make the most of your lockdown. But in the same time, if you don't feel like at the moment you are capable of doing anything, having any sort of productivity or work, then I just want you to know that that is completely okay, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, and you are completely valid within these feelings. No one is shaming you for feeling that way. You are allowed to feel sad, angry, scared, alone. You're allowed to have all of these emotions. You're also allowed to have none of them. But don't worry, because I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you, like I've been there before. I'll be there for you, like you've been there for me too. So, when we're feeling a little stressed or tired, lonely, or maybe just stuck in a rut, then we forget that a lot of the time, by simply caring for ourselves and making sure that we eat enough and we drink enough, a lot of the time, just by doing that, that can eliminate a lot of the problems that we're facing. I want you to know that you are special, you are loved, and you are cherished by everyone around you. Sometimes we can have some family or friends that might be a little bit harsh and opinionated, and it can make us feel like we're not wanted or that we are not appreciated. But I want you to know that a lot of the time they love you and they know how worthwhile you are and how special you are and how much you can achieve, and all they're trying to do is to focus you in the right direction. Sometimes tasks can seem so great and so overwhelming that we forget that we can break these tasks up and take them step by step. You have the ability to create and achieve and learn so much in life. You've just got to apply yourself. I believe that you can apply yourself and that you can do whatever you want to do in life. You are so clever, so funny, so kind, so generous, so loving, and so beautiful. And you need to remember that. Thinking of the light at the end of the tunnel. I know it can be sort of overwhelming to think about that right now. But the positive thinking is that this will come to an end eventually, and you will be able to see your loved ones again. I'm so sorry that I can't give you a time of when that will be, but rather than focusing on checking off the days, instead try to surround yourself and refocus on the ways that you can still feel those things that you enjoy so much. Try and surround yourself with positive energy, kind energy, hopeful energy. You are deserving of so much happiness and love and care from your loved ones that you know, and also from one another as well. And I want you to know how special and loved you are. And I want you to know that we're going to get out of this. I want you to know that you are safe and that everything will be okay. Remember that you are loved, you are cherished, you are kind, you are beautiful, you are smart, and you are talented. And you can do anything or achieve